Alright. Oh, did I even check my audio settings? One, two, test. Looking good. Alright. So in today's stream I'm going to work on... Oops, I'm standing in front of the wind. Sorry about that. So in this stream I'm going to work on a few different EcmaScript libraries that I have, or like projects, and try to put them all in one library, or most of it into one library. Because I've been working with a parser, and then I've used that parser both for a template processor and also for a different project where I'm parsing a proprietary language. And I made some headway in these different projects. They have sort of branched out a little bit. I need to work on making it more unified, making it more single source of truth, more do not repeat yourself, better version control, less all over the place everywhere. So we will see. And as I progress, I'll probably try to link to the different things. So I have on my GitHub, I have my ES experiments. Then I have the processor. But then we also need to create a new repository. Here we have Python framework code. So maybe I should say EcmaScript framework code to keep it unified or consistent. Framework code. This is to be a generic framework for what? Framework for EcmaScript that is in line with farting.tech principles. That's a terrible description, but that's where we'll put it. That is going to be the ground truth. It's weird. On Discord, when you link a YouTube video, it doesn't actually show that it's live in the embed. That's kind of silly. I need to get started. I'm kind of like, where do I even start? But we have places to start. One problem is that I should really declare tab bankruptcy, because I have like so many things going on all over the place that it becomes messy. But these are things I should look into later. Guess we can save and quit here. Can try to clean up a little bit. Let's just move them over there. Let's move that one over there too. Let's close this stuff. Alright, so now we have some more space here on this left screen. Yeah, I guess I have to do create a new one. Should I call it ECMA framework code? Should I call it EcmaScript framework code? Yeah, I mean, it's early enough that it's completely fine to remove this. Wait, how can this be private? I don't pay for this organization. That's strange. I've already managed to confuse myself and I haven't even begun yet. Yeah, let's remove this. I want to delete this. Permanent delete. Did not change your billing plan. Understand. To confirm, type that stuff there. Where is the thing? I need to open that thingamajig. Is it that authenticator? I have too many authenticators. So let's make a new one. And we should call it EcmaScript framework code. Generic framework in EcmaScript in line with the efforting.tech. Principles yet to be explained. I wonder how it defaulted to private. They must have changed the plans because I thought you couldn't make private things unless you paid for it. And this organization is not paying for it, but I am paying for it. But I guess I own the organization? I don't know. So let's create this directory. And let's init it. Mode add origin github.com effortingtech /EcmaScript framework code.git. Yep, so we're sort of started there. I guess we should create a readme, but I'm not sure what to put in it. To do, populate repository, write, document the structure. Oh, and we should copy some of my preferences from elsewhere. Tus, please don't be in front of the monitor. Be flat. I can't see what I'm typing. Yeah, we have the JS CodeGen experiment as well. Oops. Dot get ignore. I don't know what's in there. Let's look in it first. That looks like a good one. Initial commit. Git push u origin main. Boom. Alright. It's now here. Why is YouTube's interface so freaking terrible? Like I have all this big area where I can edit my stream, but I'm done with that. And then I have like this tiny chat window. I guess I can pop it out, but then it turns into a window that doesn't have any tabs. Can I turn this kind of a pad in a tab into a tab? Maybe I can put it here. That works. I had to copy the URL for the popped out chat and then put it back in. Actually, I'm not super happy about this either. We just have to contend with this one interface then. Of course, just as I start the stream, I'm starting to feel hungry. Might have to soon have some sort of a food break. Or maybe I can have some sort of a quick food, then put more time into more proper food a bit later. I kinda wanted to have a look at the JS CodeGen as well. So we'll open it up. This looks also very similar to the Space Gun project, which is yet another one. And this is parsing. Which is this project here, okay. And this is MM preprocessor, which I have here. And here's some old stuff, we don't need to care about that. Then I think there is probably some space gun experiments. Oh, there's mostly just crap here. Let's not dwell on that. Let's see if we can find the space gun as well. I guess this one doesn't have that much in it yet. But there could be ideas here that would... What? This looks terrible. Oh, it's mixed tabs and spaces. Yuck. Yeah, that's a nice thing. If I have a parser, which I will have, then I could select this stuff and parse it as a table. You just have a function that is essentially because all of this new field would be one AST node. So I could essentially say that for every node, try to split it up. So if it's a constructor being called, then the split up would be according to the arguments. So then I could do some table juggling. At work I've made some scripts for working with markdown tables and Excel well, not Excel, but I use numeric, which is pretty nice because it doesn't have all the weird fluff that goes wrong with LibreOffice. And then you essentially all tables are just rows are separated by new line and columns are separated by tabs. So it's very simple to work with. You can load it up in almost any program, or in any programming language very easily. So that's nice. So we have that one. I'm not really sure what's the best way here to start. Because I have to start somewhere and then add things. So this is target repository. And recently I was working on this project, DW Inspect 2, which is a project for parsing basic-like syntax. And it sort of works, but it's also sort of have a few hard-coded bits in it. But this thing has some nice stuff, like it has data transformers, it has conditions and matches, and some other useful functions like an enum function that has also different, you can use like oops. Okay, so semantic AST. So here, oops, what happened? Oh, so here we create an enum, the core resolution state, and it has two symbols that are just symbols. But we could set these to numbers if we wanted like an numerator that is numerical that starts at a certain number, or we could have used any values that different for specifically saying that this thing is this value. So it's a pretty good one. I feel that's a very low level thing, so overview, or like working overview. This overview is for when planning when planning out where to put different components in this library. Library will have a hierarchy. That's not how it spells. Hierarchy, is that the right word? Looks right. That will have a hierarchy based on composition. There will be some very low level aspects that can be used, that serves as the foundation. These will typically live near the root directory, and then more specific stuff can be deeper. If we later want to have some sort of factory-based system, we can just add that as a submodule near the root. So we'll start by copying enum. And we should document this aspect here. Regarding enum choices, currently this is an object where values can be number for automatically incrementing a value. Starting at start. I don't like backticks, but let's use them anyway. Symbol for automatically creating symbols of the same name as the key. Anything else assigns the value specified. Future plans, add a special container that allows us to specify something by value, even if it may collide with the options above. For instance, new enum value symbol to specifically set the value to symbol. All right. I'm going to keep pushing to this because then it will stay up to date for any viewers. How should I keep track of what stuff I have added to this library? I guess that I could delete it from here and then import it from the other place. But for now, let's just make a note to do. Um, delete in favor for deprecate in favor for. Don't we have? I thought I had this here, but I guess not. Alright, one down. I think the data transformers would be very useful. I think maybe data transformation is such a complex task that it should be in its own submodule. Maybe data processing? Or maybe data. Yeah, I think data. And we'll call this operator. Because the idea is that this is going to be operators. Or that operator is the generic name for all these. An operator will use a rule system in order to operate on data. Such an operation could be one of the following. These operations are defined in terms of what they may or must in terms of their contract as specified below. So here is where we'll use numeric if it works. If it doesn't work, that would be because I need to reboot, like make a full system update and reboot, and haven't done that. Numeric seems to be working. So now we can we make this dark mode? Never autocorrect anything. Why would I want autocorrection? Nope. Don't do autocorrect. Font, sans, regular. Tools. Do you want autocomplete? Probably not. Oh, we can try it on, see how annoying it becomes. Prefer clipboard over primary selection. There was nothing about colors in here. Okay, now you don't see the grid. And now you also don't see the grid. Pattern. Border. Oh yeah, color of border. Let's make it brighter. Actually, let's make it like dark green. I can't apply it again. That's so sad. Let's make this one brighter orange. Is it only for borders that are actually set? No? It must just have forgotten. Oh, it still says automatic. What? This selection box doesn't work? Doesn't count as a change? Okay, I guess we can't change that then. So, the contracts of these. Resolver. Okay, let's have name. Value. Target mutation. Resolver transformer visitor. A resolver must return, must not mutate. Transformer may return, may mutate. Visitor value not required. May not mutate. Must not mutate. Maybe it should be forbidden, allowed, forbidden. And then discouraged, allowed, required. I think that's a better way of describing the contracts for the different things. Then we're going to use the markdown table formatting feature. And I already have that on my laptop, so I'm going to go and see if I can find IP of it. Start SSHD and see what address it has. It ends on 63. Am I on 2? I am on 2. Table converter. So I think right now, oops. So if we, what? I moved a thing. So if we copy this, and then we run process clipboard. Oh, on the wrong computer. Laptop. Okay, it exists. SHFS 192.168.263 laptop. Boom. Alright. So now we can go to and now we can run process clipboard. So now we should have a clipboard that's a markdown table. Nice. I think that's good. Let's be silly also. Given this markdown table, could you add appropriate emoji for value and target mutation contracts. Let's do allowed. Let's make allowed a purple dot instead. I'm not sure I want green check mark for requirements. Please give more suggestions. Think outside of the package. Ooh, I like the foundational building block. Also formal requirement. Let's use the brick. Use the stop sign for forbidden and think emoji for discouraged. Pretty good, but let's address allowed. Rainstorm suggestions. Maybe look into office themed things or perhaps quills and stuff. Oh, maybe it should be like a little seal. What about seals of approval? Let's go with the scroll. Okay, now we put emoji in it. Now we've gone and done it. Oh yeah, we should add the actual operators. So first we have the abstract operator. And I'm not sure if ABC should be their own thing. I'm not sure about that yet. To do determine if it would make sense to put all abstract types somewhere else. Though I am currently leaning towards having them in their proper context, proper module, submodule, module, come on, module. To do, implement. To do, implement, end condition, and remove hard-coded transformation limit should be an option. State unfinished. To do unfinished class. Maybe this one is finished. Untested. Unfinished. So I guess over time we'll have to also make sure that we test all these things. And then when we do that, we need to mark what we have tested and not. But we'll get there. So this one, added data operators. To do, deprecated in favor of that one, alright. It's a bit annoying when you open, maybe we can open the, because when you have node modules there, it will descend into those, and I kind of don't want that. But this works. Oh, it looks like a lot is missing here. I don't know what that means. Does that mean that we're not including it? Okay, so we want to add generic parser. No, not we need. Yeah, we only need that one. But there's a lot of files here that are not added for some reason. Yeah, this workspace is botched. Okay, so can we do... I don't know, like I wanted to have the root thing, but I don't want it to descend into node modules. Text free exclude directory from project. Node modules is the same. Preference, but that's like over the... Why can't I do project specific? But it's not the sidebar. I want it from jump to control P. What's control P? Org. Show overlay. Go to file, I guess. Oops. Turned one off too much. Sublime free exclude directory from go to file. So can I make a per project preference? Folders. What? Well, that's not where I want to store it at all. Okay, project, edit project, folders. Node modules. I guess it would go there, because it can't go in this list. That would be weird. So if I do highlight, it goes into node modules. That does not work. Can I do it in there? What if it's a weird name? Okay, so it doesn't mind. So this does not seem to be per project. Why aren't there project specific settings? What? This project goes into the folders properties, same level as path. But that would look like here. Same level as path would be there. That actually works. Very nice. Notes. Notes, Sublime, text, exclude folders. Is this JSON? In Sublime project file. Alright, since I'm going to make some food, I'm going to Alright, we are back. So, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I figured that little thing out with how I tell Sublime to exclude certain folders, which is nice. So the next step here is to see what things we have in DW Inspect 2 that we could make use of. And now, hopefully we have all the files here. But okay, it's added a few things I don't want here. We also need to exclude a work thing. Okay, let's see. So we have stack channel that I think we use. It's used in parser. Oh, and this is under parser, but I don't know if it should be in parser. Target, that's like the owner. So I think we'll copy this, and then the question is where we should put it. If this is something that belongs in data, probably belongs in data. Let's just call it stack. And we'll replace target with owner. To do document this. To do write tests. Added stack. And then we also need to say that we have replaced it. Deprecated in favor of. Conditions. Depends on matches. And I wonder if matching should be its own thing. We have it in data, but matching could have, like, there could be many different types of matches, and it could be so many in the future that it makes sense to put it in a sub module. But for now, maybe just put it in a module. We'll call it matches. We'll have all these to-dos here. Then we go back to conditions. This needs a lot of work. I will save it for now. Conditions, matches. Added conditions and matches. Conditions, matches. Deprecated in favor of that thing. deprecated in favor of that thing. Alright, so we've done conditions, data transformers, I think we did that one. Yes, that's deprecated. Enum is done. Handlers. I think that's kind of a specific one to this project. Yes, it is, so we don't need to care about that. Matches. Processing. I think that's also kind of a specific. Actually, this is about processing XML. I think it's pretty specific to that. So let's call it XML processing. Maybe it shouldn't be in data. Maybe format specific things should be in file format. Formats. Formats. Yeah, let's make a director for each one just to keep it structured. So we'll call this processing. And this one is importing something from utils, which seems to be XML specific stuff. Utils. And this one has a theme. And this theme is an ANSI theme. A very primitive ANSI theme. So this should go in theme. Presentation or formatting. The formatting, they are slightly different. ANSI. And then we'll call it simple themes. This one uses CLI highlight and XML format. One potential issue here right now is that if we start adding dependencies, suddenly we'll have like all these different dependencies, and I would like a lot of them to be optional. So this one uses XML formatter, XML DOM, and CLI highlight. I don't know, yeah, CLI highlight, XML DOM, XML formatter. But I want them to be optional, and I did work on this before, though I don't remember what my conclusion was. Though I guess as long as you don't import these specific things, it works. But it still has to be documented that it has external dependencies. To do, note that this has external dependencies, and that we must document what features will be available and not. I guess this comes in a lot on the testing aspect of things. If we're testing, like if we want to test the entire library with all the dependencies or only the basic stuff. So it will import from utils. Okay, this one also has an external dependency. Utils. I shouldn't call it external, I should call it third party. Themes. And this one. Okay, so I think we have all the pieces here. Added XML format and ANSI formatting. What? What conditions changed? No, this is the wrong commit. Hey, what? Main. Alright. XML processing. I want to go to the file. And I actually want it to be in main. That was a bit of a terrible way around things. So we have processing, utils, and formatting ANSI simple themes. Alright, processing deprecated in favor of that. Then we have utils deprecated in favor of that. And then we have themes deprecated in favor of that. Alright, so what's next? Processing. I still need to test everything. We will implement all the things from this project, then write some tests, I think, and then start integrating other things. Yo! Welcome to the stream. Read project file. Oh, there are so many more things down here. Rules, that's with the matching system. So it should probably be under data. Rules.js. Uses conditions and matches, we have those. Conditions. I guess we can find files that does not link to this repository. And because I'm very lazy, I'm going to ask ChatGPT, please give me a Linux command that will find JS files that do not contain Ah, grep L. So I should probably be able to just do JG, which is my specific JavaScript grep thing. So if I grep for EcmaScript framework code, we don't find anything. Maybe we should find it here. Oh no, it's JG. Oh, I said MK. Okay, there we go. So if we just do -L, then we should get the other ones. Interesting. Exclude, is it dir? Node modules. Nice. So here we have the stuff we are that we have left to do. So if we can watch this, I don't get colors. How do I get colors? How do I watch with colors? How do I use the command watch with colors? Ah, that works. So these are the files we have left then. Switchable iterator. That's date. I wonder if I should have a specific iteration sub module perhaps. Data. Or we can have an iteration here. Iteration. Switchable iterator.js. Parser.js. So that's in generic parser. So let's do lib parsing generic. No wait, parsing, and then we do generic parser. And then we remove that directory. And we need to update these here, but we'll get to that when we write all the tests. We'll catch it. Token AST, that's dryworks specific stuff. I don't think we need anything in dryworks, because that's very specific things. We have the parser. I guess there are some useful stuff in here that we should get out of here, I guess. Come on, fingers, spell the thing I want. Parser semantic AST, that's nothing special. Token AST, nothing special. Tokenizers, nothing special. Okay, so it's just we have some stuff here that may be useful. Read project file, that's the main file. Drywork tokenizers, rules. Didn't we handle rules? Oh yeah, but we haven't added it here. A little more features. Untested with known degradation. So now we should be able to I should make like a pre-commit that would sort of make an index over the files put in the README. I think that could be nice. But that's for later. Rules. Oh yeah, we can start here. Switchable iterator. Iteration. Switchable iterator. Deprecated in favor of. Now it disappeared from there. That's nice. Handlers. We won't be using that. Token AST. Rules is one of the things. Deprecated in favor of. That's the wrong file. So now we have all the DrawWorks files. Parser here we want to extract some stuff from. What about this parser? This is the generic parser. Deprecated in favor of that one. So now we only have the DrawWorks stuff left here and read project file and handlers. So now we need to start writing some tests. Almost want a coffee or two. I don't know what I think about watch printing out the time something took. Because it's kind of annoying with the flickering. But there's probably an option to turn it off. I should also make a repository with all my shell tools that I've made, because I want to share them. Sharing is caring, after all. Going to put some fresh air in here. But it's a bit cold out. I can only get fresh air for small amounts of time. Ooh. So we need to make tests for all these things now. Some of our projects do have some testing features, but I think that we should move this to number 2 here. This is a different project that also has a switchable iterator and some stuff like that, so you just sort of go through and see if there are any things we're missing there. Table converter, that's a useful little thing. We can have useful little things on this one here. And we can close that one. Here we have more stuff. Maybe here we have some testing stuff. test cases. Let's see how I've done this. It's probably terrible. There is probably great testing frameworks that I could use. So let's make a testing. That should be its own thing. Testing. And then we can have framework. And we can have tests and assets. Testing.js. Yeah, there is a lot of important to-dos here. Then each test could be a file. And I guess we could have some way to determine if such a file should emit a positive or negative thing. So we actually execute. Oh yeah, this is how we run the test. List of tests. Yeah, I think I want to do this slightly different. I want to run the tests as independent little invocations of Node that creates like a report file. But then we could have like a positive and a negative report. Let's talk with the Silicon Duck here for a little bit. If I want to run a bunch of tests, I could use GNU make to orchestrate and run many in parallel. Each test case file could yield a report file. But reports can be positive or negative. Should I... What is a good way of dealing? Positive or negative, but I guess I could collate all the reports at the end. Reports could be JSON files. Each test case is represented by an input file. Make rule runs a test, generating a JSON report. Final step collates all report files into a summary. my back. Hey Toos. I've got a cat. Hey, you're making a mess of your mat here. Time to close window. Gets cold quickly. I need to find the cat brush later because this cat needs to be brushed a little bit. I thought I had it here, but it doesn't seem like it. I'm getting my legs are starting to get tired. I guess I have to, when you get into my age, you have to choose, like, do you want your legs or your back to suffer? And then alternate between the two. So yeah, the testing is a bit terrible. Yeah, we're going to redo this a little bit. So we'll clear this for now. And I wish the cat wasn't sitting in front of the screen so I could see it better. So the idea here would be to execute something and create a report where the report would contain std out, std error, and the return status. So we should be able to do something like this. Function run program. So it should have program. And here we have these TMP stuff that I don't like. Temp dir equals undefined or null. If we don't have a temp dir, then temp dir equals create temp dir. But then we should also delete that temp dir when we're finished. Delete temp dir. So we'll automatically delete a temp dir if we created a temp dir. So I'm also thinking like we are going to take these outputs and put into files. Can't we just Why did we need to do the temp stuff? Was that because we couldn't just capture it? Let's read some documentation here. Oh yeah, it was some weird problem where if you wanted to read from std in, that you couldn't open std in because it messed up the pipes. So that was like a specific problem. I wonder if I should create I mean, if we run these in parallel, they need to be in different directories. Isn't there a built-in thing for it? Are there no built-in features in Node to get unique directories created in TeamPFS? Wait, fs.mkd temp? Creates a unique temporary directory. What did I just ask it? Are there no built-in features in Node to get unique directory created in TeamPFS? So you say no, but then mention fs.mkd temp. That clearly is what I asked for. You're absolutely correct. fs.mkd temp is exactly what you asked for. A built-in way node to create unique directory and temporary location. I should just have said yes and then explained how to use it. No hedging next time. It keeps making these promises that it can't keep. Then we have child process. The cat is in the way again. Exec file, exec command. I guess it's exec. What's the difference of exec and spawn then? This one has the callback. What's process? Oh, that's my process. I thought you already have that. That was just like a super global. Okay, let's yeah, let's actually move this over here. Const await temp dir equal that stuff, or like local temp directory. And we don't need a prefix here. Then we have join log file equals join local temp directory, comma stdout.log. stdair, stdair. We don't need to actually open. Yeah, we need to open these. OpenSync. We're not using OpenSync. So that's probably in here too. Open. Await. Open. These files. Alright. Then we run the child and we use await spawn Here we have node. Here we could have, like in their example, where we use process.argv. Though I think this should be up to the caller here. So we just say program and arguments. And we don't need to do that, it's already like that. Encoding. Should we specify encoding? I think we should not. Then we read these files, and I guess we should just use read. And it should be the temp files, or like the file names. We also have child.status. And now we'll just print out these things. std out, std air. We can print them on different std air. Child.status, I think. So when we test this, we'll do run program node help. Aren't we an async thingamajig? Async function. Oh wait. Is it read file? Oops. Now we're just guessing. E-access. What weird path is that? Let's return here. So mkd temp. tmp dir. Oh, we only have join without anything else. Do we need a prefix? Testing. Oh, interesting. So without a prefix it breaks. Oh, maybe it even works with empty? Nope. So let's say efforting.tech EcmaScript framework testing. Not the nicest acronym, but it's something. A friend said he was considering to like take off the entire plastic of his old laptop with all the stickers and then glue that to the new laptop, so he doesn't have to get rid of the stickers. Then his laptop would get thicker and thicker over time. We should handle errors, but I think we'll just have it will fail. Yeah, it will, like it did there, so that's fine. Okay, where is the problem? Validate string file. The file argument must be of type string returned. We got an instance. Okay, spawn. Oh, so the first is the program, and then there is arguments. Program arguments. I guess we'll have to call program arguments because arguments is reserved. What about that? Will that work? FS. Await. Close. Close file. Close. So when we use open, we don't have to close it. Oh, I need to do it on the file handle. So these promises are pending. Oh yeah, because we didn't await. Why do we have let here? Why don't we use const here? So these are buffers now. We can't put a buffer in a JSON just without serializing it. So we want to serialize it to hex. And we'll be lazy. Could you show me how to serialize it to base 64 or something? Or whatever would be best for JSON embed. Oh, that was easy. To string base 64. But it's empty. Child state is undefined. It probably isn't finished. We await spawning it. But then what? Spawn. Okay, so the question is, can we await it to be finished? Maybe this whole thing, maybe we shouldn't use spawn. Maybe we should use spawn sync or something. What is the proper way to wait for the child? Should I not use spawn? It's not a promise? Returns child process. Yeah. Ah, there's so much. Why does... Code signal. I guess that's a pretty nice way of doing it. Async function wait for process. Child.on error. How could there be an error though? I guess if it doesn't spawn, yeah. I guess we only need to do exit. Now we have to make a promise like this, that's the only way. Wait for process child. Child code. Okay, child status. Child signal. I wonder if I can see those also in the child object. Oh, it creates a structured thing. Can I just do it like that? Like that then? Oh my. Alright, so here we have the signal and the return code. Then we have child that also has exit and signal code, so we don't actually need to do anything here. We just need to await it, and once it happened, we'll close the files, we'll read the files, and here we get the stuff. Result will equal to, or like report. I guess signal is useful if we would set up a timeout. Oh, hello Charles, welcome. Because like if we're using a timeout to execute a command, then we'll get a signal for that, so we could see if we timed out or not. So I guess that could be useful. And now we should be able to just dump this entire thing. And maybe we should write it to a specific file. Target file, which would be dev std out by default. So I guess there is a write file we could use. File data options callback. Write file. Target file. Let's call it report file. Report file. The data would be json.stringify report. And then we have options. We're encoding is UTF-8. Is that how you... Okay, it already defaults to that, so we don't need to actually add it. So this just might work. Or not. Write file. Oh wow. It turned the buffer into... why did... Oh yeah, because these are the raw ones. Guess we can be sneaky and do like that. Was it in code? I'm not sure if it was in code. ToString. That's looking a little bit better. Where is the status though? It only contains std out and std air. Which is weird because I do specify status and signal. Maybe those aren't... Okay, so status might be a number that is 0. No, wait, status, and signal may not be a string. It could be undefined, then it won't be visible. What if we don't bring those? We get an empty thing. That's weird. They're both undefined. Oh yeah, it wasn't signal, it was like signal name or something. Oh yeah, it's signal code and exit code. So maybe we should also call it exit code and signal code. That's better. And of course include those. Program arguments and then report file. So then we could have test.json there. Oh, water goes into the belly, not into the lungs. So the idea here was to be able to run tests in parallel and have them create reports, and then we could collate all those reports later. Oh yeah, it needs to clean up the temp dir, because now we probably have a terrible mess in TMP. Oh, there's so much Steam stuff here. Better. Let's also remove all Steam stuff. Better. Pretty sure the testing stuff are old too. And the pre-process stuff. So how is our disk usage of TMP? 14 megs, that's okay. We need to clean up our temp directory here. Delete. So that's unlink, but we want to delete the whole tree. Let's belace again. How do I delete a file tree? local temp directory. Looking good, it cleans up after itself. Now we just need to actually care about parameters, I guess. Because we'll spin up these. Process.argv1 I think would be program. That's my own file. 2 would be the argument. Say we could have no dash dash help. So then we'd have dot slice free for the rest, I think. Though, if we want an output thing, then that should probably come before the first argument. So we should have super rudimentary argument parsing that only checks for dash dash. If argument output or O exists, we will pop the next for output. If argument dash dash exists, we will assume the rest is no arguments. So we'll have cons remaining. Which will be a copy of process.argv.slice2. So that's node help. And then we could have something like output test.json. Or we could have something like dash dash for the rest of the stuff there. The cat sees something. While remaining dot length const top equals remaining dot at 0 if, well, switch top case output or O. Can we do it like that, or do we do it like that? We can do it like that. It's not pop, it's splice, I think. Or is it shift? First we shift out. Actually we'll shift this thing here. Now we'll look at it first and then we'll shift it if we need. So we'll do remaining.shift and then another one, output file equals remaining.shift, and that should be let output file be nothing, case dash dash, then we exit this thing here. We should shift it and then exit it. Shift exit. And then in all other cases we'll put it back, which is a bit, oh, I guess we don't shift it, we just break. Though this only breaks from the switch, we want to break from the while loop. I wish we could just do break two loops out, but that's not how it works. So we'll do let finished equal false, while finished so while it's not finished and there is stuff left, so if it's empty or it's finished, then it stops. I guess it could be while, yeah, I think that works. Finished equals true, and there's true too. So now we can print out remaining, and we can print out output file. That seems to be working. Nice. So then we do remaining 0 and remaining dot slice 2, right? Or is it slice 1? It's slice 1. And then output file. Nice. So in tests, we'll create a make file. And let's just add a test.js. This test was this test did run. Process.exit 5. So the make file here, it should have a generic thing that any JS file, any report file so this directory obviously has to exist for this to work. So here we'll do node, we'll go under one, framework, testing.js, then node, and then the input file. Is that like that, perhaps? Is that is that the output file? Let's echo this to be sure. No targets. Make dash dash test report test.json. So it tries to run test report test.json as the output file there. Oh, node has to come before, right? No, that's correct. That should work. It did create file there, exit code 5, that's right. So now I can make a whole bunch of tests. The problem now is if I do all, there isn't any thing for it. So all, which should be a phony. Oh yeah, we can divide these up in different groups. So we could have, is it like this, phony? Okay, let's be lazy. Make. Please add add phony targets. One should be called test and depend on dash dash slash test report JSON for every test, for every test something .js. Then all target all should depend on the target test. Okay, dot phony all test 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 files Do we need additional dollar there? I think we can just do like that perhaps. All is test. In order to make target wildcard. Nothing to be done for all. B. Nice. All. Okay, so now we need to collate all the files we have here. The question is if we want to collate them by group first and then collate the groups. I guess that we don't need to do that right now. So what would happen if we have a problem here? Test fail. Throw tantrum. We should make a little thing to show these reports also. Format them nicely. But if we have... I guess we could make some assumptions that they contain proper Unicode, but we should probably also avoid non-printable. If I want to print a string that may be UTF-8 but may also contain unprintables, how can I first attempt to convert it and then fall back on ASCII? Then after I have picked an encoding, I also want to replace non-printables. Try decoding as UTF-8. If it fails, fall back to ASCII. Once decoded, replace non-printable. Okay, I guess we can just try this thing and just not check for replacement chars. So this should be in testing. We should have a program for this. Should remove test.json. Print report.js. So this one doesn't need that. It doesn't need that, I think. Doesn't need that. Needs read file. That's like all the thing it needs, I think. Report file equal default to std in. Data read file. That would be buffer. Process.argv.slice2. Node print report. Test reports test fail. std out log file. That makes sense. Report file. Path argument must be type string. Oh yeah, because it should be ... Then we use JSON dot parse, perhaps. Yes. Report equals that. Then we need to sanitize it, so we'll just do Okay, so let's do std out equals, let's just try report dot std out dot, how do I decode something? Here they do toString, but it is already a string. How do I create a buffer from base 64? Std out is buffer.from report.std out. std air std out dot replace then we'll have decoded str out, which is std whatever dot to string utf8. Replace all that car. Let's just make a question mark for let's make a dot for now and print it. See how it looks. std out to replace not function. Oh yeah, we need to use decoded std out. Oh yeah, I guess this one only prints on std air. Nice, so here we have stuff. And of course now we don't have any unprintables in here. But if we had, they would be turned into that little dot. So the next step, I guess, is to just print this nicely. I know we're like not keeping in do not repeat yourself here, but we can fix that later. Consanitized whatever equals decoder whatever dot replace. And now we can print this report. I guess the report should actually save what was run, which it's not doing right now. Program arguments std out std air. No dot slash framework print report dot slash test report test fail dot json. Oh right, it's not actually printing anything. Dot log std out Can I make it print it nice? Can inspect print it nice? I think we have an inspect somewhere here. But instead of this, we inspect sanitized std out and std air. Oh yeah, we need to actually import it too. Yeah, I think that's a better way of viewing it. And with this method, we don't even need to sanitize it. We can just decode it. Let's actually just call them stdr and stdout. And then call these raw. Or stdout buff. So here we have report. Can we actually remove these from the report? I guess we can. How can I pop two things from an object but retain the rest? Some destructuring assignment. Alright. OBS is like showing some error boxes here that looks very strange. Yeah, have a good time. Thanks for watching. So another problem is that I want to call them std out and std air here. I guess I can use let so I can redefine them, even if I don't really like that. Or I could delete them and then just, yeah, maybe that's easier. Is it delete? Yeah, I think I want to sanitize these. Key value of object.entries report console.log key followed by inspect value. And then we'll do std out and std air. But I don't want to show them like that. So instead of inspect, we'll have we just print them like that. But I would like to also use indentation. Is there a built-in indent feature? Yeah, that works pretty well. Though yeah, maybe I should still put them within inspect there. I don't know, I have a better idea, I think. Yeah, so we should instead do for line of sanitize output dot split console.log line, and then presentable line, const presentable line equals inspect line. That might work. Yeah, that's kinda readable, but it still contains stuff. And in that case, we don't even need to sanitize it. Nice. So I can print a report for my test. Should probably make some food soon before I get hungry, because I think I only have things that take a long time to make. I should also probably take a break from all this. But I should check things in. I do like the tests. The drawback now with the tests is that I don't have any easy way to run all tests and get a collated report. So maybe I should make a collation report collation tool. But here is a trick then, I guess. Do we want, like for instance, test fail? Fails on purpose, but how do we know that? Should we use a file name for it that says that this is a negative one? Or should we have like a JSON file with negated expectations? Or maybe we should have expectations in a specific file, because it could be that we print specific output, like we print a variable and maybe then we want to compare it to something. So there should probably be an expected output thing. But a very good initial collation would just be to print the program arguments and the exit code. Collate reports. File list. File list. file is file file is file. To read the file is file into the file list. So it'd be call it reports, and we do ls // test report JSON. Const file list equals file list buffer to string utf8. Can we just omit utf8 there? I guess we'll figure out later. For const file name of file list. Load report file name. Report file. To do this should be used by. This should be a common feature shared among different utilities in the testing framework. Report dot that equals this and that. Return report. Report. Load report file name. Await illegal operation on a directory. Okay, let's print the file name here. Whoa, that looked weird. Split n. If filename.length await load report. Alright. Report equal that thing. Show me two emoji for pass and fail. If report.exit code equals 0. I guess we can do just report.exit code question mark. const marker or icon. So we can do console.log icon report.program arguments. Exit code. We should have another test. We have test, fail. We should have a test succeed. Test succeed. I mean .js. Nothing to it. So we should have in make file, we should have report. What? Nice. So maybe print report should also return true or false. If report exit code at least one failed equals true, or I can do failed count plus plus. Let failed count equals 0. To do, we should allow a JSON file that decides expected outcomes for tests, because some might be supposed to fail. Then if they are failed, process.exit will return 0, else. I guess it's an async. I guess that's fine. Return 0, return 1. So we could do process.exit await nice, error 1. So now we can do watch and see make. So if we adjust something and we fix that one, then just updates like that. Nice. Okay, let's see here now. Test report should not be part of it, so it should be in git ignore. Test report. Added simple testing framework. I think that's a pretty good end for this. Clean. RM, RF, test report. I guess we don't need to do recursive here, but whatever. Make clean. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good place to take a break. For one, there is nobody watching as far as I can see. And also I'm at a natural stepping stone, which is always nice. So should probably think about making some food, having a break, do something else for a bit. But thank you for watching. I enjoyed streaming.